Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisance to Glorious Srila Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to morning Bhagavatam class. This morning we continue with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 15, verse 28, and we do have a lecture by Srila Prabhupada on the chapter that we are following every single day. The Pandavas retire timely. We're so glad that there's a lecture by Srila Prabhupada on that. So without further delay, we will start the lecture, and we request devotees to please try to get at least one takeaway so that we can share at the end of the class and really hear attentively too. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Sutta Uvacha. Evam Chintayato Jishno Krishna Pada Suroruham Sohadena Atigadhena Shanta Asit Vimala Mati Sutta Uvacha Evang Chintayato Jishno Krishna Pada Saroruham Sohadena Tigadena Shantasid Vimalamati Sutta Uvacha Evang Chintayato Jishno Krishna Pada Saroruham Sohadena Tigadena Shantasid Vimalamati Sutta Uvacha Evang Chintayato Jishno Krishna Pada Saroruham Sohadena Tigadena Shantasid Vimalamati Sutta Uvacha Evam Chintayato Jishno Sutta Uvacha Sutta Goswami said Evam thus Chintayataha while thinking of the instructions Jishno of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna Pada the feet of Krishna Saroruham resembling lotuses Sohadena by deep friendship Atigadena in great intimacy Shanta pacified Asit it so became Vimala without any tinge of material contamination Matihi Translation Sutta Goswami said, thus being deeply absorbed in thinking of the instructions of the Lord, which were imparted in the great intimacy of friendship, and in thinking of his lotus feet, Arjuna's mind became pacified and free from all material contamination.
Abhismiti Krishna Padaravindayo Chinoti Avadrani Sacham Tanoti. This is our Krishna consciousness movement, that if constantly our mind is engaged in thinking of the lotus feet of Krishna, thinking begins from the lotus feet, not all of a sudden this child. he cannot think of Krishna all of a sudden on the top. This is the process. In the second canto you'll find. And we have to think of Krishna's lotus feet. The Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto and second canto, are the lotus feet of Krishna. Then you gradually rise. When you are accustomed to think of Krishna, that is called transcendental meditation. At any time, at any moment, if you immediately meditate, you will see the lotus feet of Krishna. That is transcendental meditation. Then gradually rise to think of this portion, this portion, this portion, and at last the smiling face. That smiling face is compared with the 10th canto. 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is explained. So, Arjuna was disturbed in so many ways, but as soon as he began to think of Krishna's lotus feet, Saroruha, Krishna Pada Saroruha, immediately everything became pacified. This is the process. This is transcendental consciousness or transcendental meditation. Immediately, without any delay, for a moment, he will feel completely pacified. Therefore, Krishna advises, Manmana bhava mad bhakta madjaji mag namaskuru. Always, Manmana, always engage your mind upon me. This deity worship means to train the neophytes devotees how to concentrate upon the form of Krishna, especially his lotus feet. That will make our life pacified always. Shanta, pacified, peaceful. Another point is, Sauhadena uti garhena, very deep intimacy. We have got already our relationship with Krishna. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sridam sarvabhutanam gyatyam aham shantimicchati. We are seeking after friends who can give me some benefit, who can give me some peace of mind. We are reading so many books, consulting so many philosophers, scientists, searching out peace of mind. But we are forgetting that our real Suhrit, friend, is Krishna. Sridam Sarvabhutana. Actually that is a fact, because we are part and parcel of Krishna. The example I have given many times, just like this finger is part and parcel of my body. So, the finger is always happy when it is attached with this body. It is very practical, try to understand. If the finger is cut and separated from this body, then it will be called somebody's finger. Everyone will see the finger falling on the ground, somebody will say, yes, somebody knows that it is that man's finger, but this finger is useless. It is simply name finger. That you have to understand. The finger's value is so long it is attached with the body. As soon as it is separated from the body, it is useless. You can call it finger. Similarly, our societies, human society, is divided into so many departments. Generally, it is divided into 4 classes: intelligent class, administrator class, productive class, and worker class. The whole human society. There are certain men who are very intelligent. They are scientists, philosophers, writers, thinkers. There are so many departments. Similarly, there are politicians, diplomats. Similarly, there are industrialists, agriculturists, and general workers. They are neither intelligent, nor administrator, nor producer, but simply worker. You give them some money and they are satisfied. So, that is natural division of the society. And you call it by different names. But scientifically, the division is already there. So, in the human society, the central point is Krishna. Central point is Krishna. If we forget Krishna, this intelligent class of man, this administrator class of man, the productive class of man, the worker class of man, they are all useless. They are all useless. If by your intelligence you cannot find out with whom you are intimately related, then what is the value of your intelligence? That kind of intelligence a dog has also got. Where is something to eat, or where is something to mate, the dog has that, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. This intelligence the dog has got. And if you have got the same intelligence, without utilizing your intelligence to find out the Supreme with whom you are so intimately related, then what is the value of your intelligence? So, this is Krishna consciousness movement. We are trying to utilize intelligence to find out the Supreme Cause, the Supreme, with whom we are very intimately related. Because we are part and parcel. The same example, just like this finger, is very intimately related with this body. But if it is separated, it has no value. But again, if there is possibility to join this finger with this body, then again it regains its value. That is Krishna consciousness movement. We are now separated from Krishna. We have forgotten Krishna. This is our position. Although I am intelligent, very intelligent, so-called intelligent, for eating or sleeping or for having sex life, intelligence, just like that, the scientists are applying intelligence for abortion. What is this intelligence? To give facility sex life, that's all. What is this intelligence? Killing the poor child within the womb, is that very good intelligence? No, but that intelligence is for giving facility to sex life. That's all. That so-called scientists, intelligence. What is that intelligence? They discovered atomic bomb. What is the effect? To kill. So they are dying. What is the credit for you? They are already dying. Naturally dying. dying of want of food, dying in famine, in pestilence, then what you have discovered? This is called intelligence. This intelligence is described in the Bhagavad Gita, Maya Aprita Jnana. They are advertising themselves as intelligent, but real intelligence is taken away. Real intelligence is that we are advancing in science, in education, in motor cars and motor tires and everything, but where is our peace? Where is Shanti? That is intelligence. That intelligence must be utilized to find out where is really Shanti, peace. That is intelligence. And that is described. Savai pungsang paro dharmo jato bhakti radhukhaji. Jayatma sampasidati. If you want actually peace, then your intelligence should be utilized for searching out the Supreme and your relationship with Him. As soon as you find out, just like you have lost your father, if you find out your father, immediately your relationship with father is revived. There is no question, here is my father. And father says, here is my son. Because the relationship is very intimate. A son may go out for years together, but as soon as he comes back home, he sees his father, mother, and that original intimacy immediately revived. So we have got that intimate relation. So when we come to that position to understand our intimate relationship with God or Krishna, that is called Swarup Siddhi. Swarup Siddhi. Swarup Siddhi means realization of perfection. Swarup Siddhi. So here, Sutta Goswami says, Sohadena Gadhena Shant. If an old friend meets another old friend, they become very much delighted. Similarly, if the father meets the lost child, he becomes very delighted. And the child also becomes delighted. A husband, wife separated, again they meet. So they become very delighted. It is quite natural. The master and servant, after many, many years, if they again meet, they become very delighted. So we have got our relationship with Krishna in so many ways. Shanta dasa sakha vasalya madhurya. Shanta means neutral. Simply to understand the Supreme. Dasa means step forward. Just like we say God is great, that is Shanta. To appreciate the greatness of God. But there is no activity. But when you go step forward, that God is great, so I am serving so many, society, friendship, love, cats, dogs and so many, I am loving. Why not let me love the greatest? That is called dasa. Simply to realize God is great, that is also very good. But when you voluntarily go forward, now why not serve the great? Just like from ordinary service, those who are engaged in service, they want to try to change from the inferior service to the superior service. Service is there, but superior service, if somebody gets government service, he thinks it is very nice. Similarly, as we serve, so when we desire to serve the great, that will give us peacefulness. That is called Shanta Dasa. Then service with friendship. service, master and servant, giving service. But when the servant becomes very intimate, there is friendship. I have seen it practically in Calcutta. The Dr. Bose, his driver was his best friend. When he would sit on the car, he'll talk all his mind with the driver. Although his driver, he became his intimate friend. All confidential talks with the driver. It happens so. If the servant becomes very confidential, the master discloses his mind. He talks with him what to do. So this is called platform of friendship. And again, further advancement, just like relationship with father and son, mother and son, this is called Vatsalya, and at last, conjugal love. So in this way, we are related with Krishna, somewhere or other. In veneration, in servitude, as friend, as paternal affection, or as conjugal affection, you see. So we have to revive that. And as soon as we revive any one of them, intimacy, then we become happy, because that is eternal. The same example. The finger, so long separated, it is not happy. As soon as it is joined, it is happy. Similarly, we have got our eternal relationship with Krishna. Now we are separated, but as soon as we join with Him, again we become Jenatma Samprasidati. So therefore Krishna consciousness movement is beneficial for everyone, just to try to revive your original consciousness. That is already there. Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakti. Our Krishna consciousness is eternally a fact. Otherwise, you European American boys and girls, you 3 or 4 years ago, you did not know what is Krishna. Why you are so much attached to Krishna? Why you are attached? Unless you are attached to Krishna, you cannot sacrifice your valuable time in this temple or for preaching Krishna's glory. You have developed a love for Krishna. Otherwise, nobody is so fool that he is wasting time. No. But that, how it is possible? One may say that Krishna is Indian, Krishna is Hindu. Why the Christians are interested? That they are Hindu. No, Krishna is neither Hindu nor Muslim nor Christian. Krishna is Krishna. And you are part and parcel of Krishna. These understanding, I am Hindu, I am Muslim, I am Christian, I am American, I am Indian, these are all designations. Actually, I am spirit soul, Aham Brahmasmi. And Krishna is the supreme Brahma, Parabrahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhava. So we have got intimate relationship with Krishna. That is eternally fact. Simply we have to revive. Savanadi Shuddha Chitte Karayuda. We have to create. Just like the young man likes to love a young woman, and the young woman likes to love a young man. That is natural. That is nature. But when they meet together, it is revived. It is not that something new imposition. It is there. But by chance or anyway, when they are in contact, the loving, the propensity increases. The love increases. So our relationship with Krishna, that is natural, that is not unnatural. Nitya Siddha. Nitya Siddha means it is eternally fact. Simply it is covered. It is covered. That covering has to be taken away. Then we are immediately in relationship with Krishna in natural way. That is perfection of Krishna consciousness. So, here, it is said that Sohadena Oti Garhena. Garhena very deep. There are different types of Sohada, friendship, but there is very intimate, deep friendship. So as soon as we revive our Krishna consciousness, our deep relationship with Krishna as servant, as friend, as paternal relationship or conjugal love, that is already there. Just like this finger has got already its place. It is separated, but if there is any physician or surgeon, he can simply put exactly on the place, then it works immediately. Immediately works. So similarly, we have to place ourselves exactly in the position in which we are related with Krishna. Then our life is successful. Immediately successful. Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakti Sadha Kavuna Sabrad. And that can be accomplished beginning with hearing. This is the beginning. We are inviting persons to come to hear about Krishna from Srimad Bhagavatam, from Bhagavad Gita. These are called Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha, the message of Krishna or the words of Krishna. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult. That, what is his cult? A cult is, he says, Amar Agnay Guru Haiya Taro Ei Desh, Jare Dakho Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh. Krishna Upadesh. You become a spiritual master under my order, under his order. Don't manufacture yourself. Under the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is called Parampara system. One who is following in disciplic succession the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what is the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Jare dakho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Don't advise him your rascaldom. Krishna upadesh. What Krishna has said, you just tell him. You become spiritual master. That's all. It is not very difficult to become spiritual master. The rascals, they fail because they do not say anything which Krishna says. He manufactures something. He wants to take the place of Krishna. This rascaldom will never make you happy. You have to follow. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Jare dakho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Then you become Guru. To become Guru is not at all difficult, provided you follow the right instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then everyone can become, expand. You have learned something about Krishna consciousness. Now you rightly distribute them. Then you will increase your group. But if you want to manufacture something of your own concoction, that will not act. That will be gramophone. No. And actually penetrating. Apani Achari Prabhu Jivirishika, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that you have to act accordingly as it is instructed. Apani Achari. Then you can teach others. If you do not act yourself, your words will have no value. Because a cut, evam paramparasit praptam. If you have got connection with the original powerhouse, then there is electricity. Otherwise it is simply wear. What is the value? Simply wearing will not help you. The connection must be there. And if you lose the connection, then there is no value. Therefore, Krishna consciousness movement means you have to keep yourself always connected with the original powerhouse. And then Wherever you go, there will be light. There will be light. If you are disconnected, there will be no light. The bulb is there, the wiring is there, the switch is there, everything is there. That's what Arjuna is feeling. That I am the same Arjuna. I am the same Arjuna who fought in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. I was known as so great a warrior. And my bow is the same bow. And my arrow is the same arrow. But now it is useless. I could not defend myself. Because disconnected with Krishna. Krishna is no longer. Therefore he began to remember the words of Krishna, which was taught to him in the battle of Kurukshetra. Krishna is not different from his word. That is absolute. What Krishna said 5,000 years ago, if you catch up those words again, you are immediately connected with Krishna. Immediate. This is the process. Just see Arjuna. He says that Evam Chintayato Krishna Pada Sarudam. When he began to think of Krishna and his instruction, as he gave in the battlefield, immediately become shanta, peaceful, immediately pacified. This is the process. We have got intimate relationship with Krishna eternally. It is not artificial. Therefore, if you keep ourselves always connected with Krishna, there will be no more disturbance, peaceful. Janglagdha chaprang labhaga mannate nadhikam tata. If you get that position, then that is the highest benefit, highest gain. Janglabdha cha. Then you will not desire for any other gain. You will perceive that I have got the highest gain. Janglabdha chaprang labhaga mannate nadhikam. Jasmin sthite, and if you keep yourself fixed up at that position, then guru napi dukkhena na, even the heaviest type of calamities will not be disturbed. That is peace. That is peace. Not that little pinching you are disturbed. If you are actually fixed up in Krishna consciousness, you will not be disturbed in the greatest form of dangerous condition. That is the perfection of Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much.
Another power-packed class by Srila Prabhupada. As always, as usual, it's just amazing. Very, very powerful. Would like to ask devotees, you have any takeaways, any thoughts, any feedback? Please do share. Parikshit first, and then next is Dera Krishna and Nitya Gopal. Okay, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, please accept our obeisances of Lord Srila Prabhupada. Yes, very, very, very important lecture. My takeaway, the importance of being connected with Krishna consciousness, as Srila Prabhupada gave the example of a finger. Even if you know a person's finger and the finger is cut and you can recognize the finger as belonging to this particular person, it's still useless because it's not going to be able to function like it normally does. So they have to be connected with the body of that person for it to work. Similarly, we are falling away from Krishna in our material condition. This is why we're going through so many problems, so many changes. And when we have the connection with Krishna again by consciousness, then the peace will come immediately. And he ended it by saying that even the most dangerous of situations, you will not be disturbed once you connect with Krishna. Because the mind's going to say, and the intelligence is also going to confirm that Krishna is the greatest. No matter what the situation is, he'll take care of it using the situation itself, using other people, and using my own body the best way that needs to be done in order for us to, or for the person to be in the best situation, given the condition that's there. So that kind of faith is needed in Krishna consciousness. Krishna is the greatest. And there's nothing he cannot do. And if we are connected to him, we're not disconnected from him, then we're going to function okay no matter what we face, even in this material world. Hare Krishna.
Amazing point. Actually, when you were speaking and sharing about your takeaway about the finger, I really liked one point that your Prabhupada also said, just as a surgeon knows how to put the finger back in the right place, he said, again, then he was saying that is Krishna. We are putting Krishna back in the right place in our lives. When he said that, I was like, whoa, that was powerful. Never thought of it that way, but he really used, really powerful examples to show that, just as the surgeon knows how to put the finger back in the right place, so Krishna will come back in the right place in our life. Just the way he said was just powerful. So yes, thank you for the wonderful sharing. Thank you. Yes, dear Krishna, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, please accept my humble
Accept my
obeisances.
notice, Prabhupada, Prabhu.
Yes, a few points. Of course, there are a lot of points, but I will just share a few. Number one, Srila Prabhupada is again reminding us who is the real intelligent person. He inquires about the highest goal, the real goal of life. That's what he towards the in the starting of the lecture he starts with that, and then the few points, very powerful points that Krishna conscious. I don't think I ever heard this definition of Krishna consciousness, or maybe I didn't notice it. Krishna consciousness means to keep yourself connected with original powerhouse. So very, very beautiful, poetic way of describing Krishna consciousness. Just like he mentions the example, the bulb is there, connection is there, electrical connection is there, switch is there. So there is no, and also there is no fear of power failure, right? So it's always available to us. The only thing is we should have a desire to switch it on. That's all. And he also gave a beautiful example of Arjuna, that such a powerful warrior, and but when he was disconnected from Krishna, he couldn't even use his bows and arrows at all. So no matter how powerful, how beautiful, how opulent we are, if we are not connected to the original source, we are useless, like Arjuna. That happened. It's beautiful realization. And one more is Krishna. So now practical part is, when he's such a genius, the flow of his lectures, so simple, but so genius. And then he also explains the practical part, how to be connected with that original powerhouse. Krishna is non-different from his words. So how? So by accepting his words, by following his words, and that are coming to us through our eminent Shiksha Guru, Srila Prabhupada. So just a beautiful connection. I was feeling, goosebumps, like how simply he's making the connections, giving the philosophy, and then how to apply it practically. So, and he ends with that, if we are fixed in this path, there is no fear. But if we are up and down sometimes, here and there, then we will be not very confident on this path. We will always be running around. So thank you, Mataji, for giving me the time to express.
Amazing points, Prabhu. Actually, I like you said, Srila Prabhupada makes it very simple, yet very powerful, yet very clear. And then he uses the simple, basic, everyday examples that we come across, and it's so powerful that we don't even think about it. Like we just take it for granted. But if we look at our everyday lives, our everyday functioning, it's so much related to Krishna consciousness. So thank you. And especially that point about the powerhouse, the original powerhouse, you're right. It's a beautiful point. And I also like the point that you mentioned, as long as we are fixed, as Srila Prabhupada said, in Krishna consciousness, we have no fear. And fear comes, or they say, the wishy-washy, the imbalance comes when we go everywhere, here, there. We don't have a common ground. We just go, we are like what we said, we discussed this in class on Sunday, Prabhu. Faith hopping, where we are shopping and hopping for something. And the more we hop and shop like what the rabbits do, we are not going to come back. We are not going to get the full benefit of it because we are hopping and shopping. So that's a very good point, Prabhu. Thank you so much. A wonderful takeaway. Thank you. Nitya Gopal, go ahead.
Krishna Mataji and all devotees,
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, very nice takeaways from Parishit Prabhu and Dhir Krishna Prabhu and your comments. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I was relishing that. Yeah, wonderful.
I
And
was too,
powerful.
from everyone.
Powerful lecture from Srila Prabhupada. So many wonderful points. Prabhupada just brings up this knowledge. So small, simple word, but so powerful. I was thinking the point on the Jare Deko Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh. Because we have the tendency, everyone to speak. Wherever we go, someone wants to speak and express. But Srila Prabhupada is mentioning we can use that tendency to serve in Krishna. Jare Deko Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh. Like how wonderfully it is, we don't have to give up anything, but at whatever we have, whatever you like, just devtel in Krishna's service. So I was thinking on that. Right?
Absolutely, Prabhu. We have to use what we have and share it with others. We can't keep it. Keeping
Right.
it is selfishness, because everybody deserves to know, like I was just thinking last night when after finishing the altar service in the temple for the resting service, the Maha jug of water was full. And normally, so of course we cannot drink the whole bottle, right? So what we normally do is we pour it out to the living entities. We share
Right.
it. So we take the Maha water and then we pour it outside to the plants and the leaves, because we're sharing. So in that same way, Prabhu, yes, we share the mercy of the Lord with others, Very nice point, Prabhu. Thank you.
There's another point. Yeah, there's
Yes,
another
please.
point. What thinking? So how this chronological events put in the Srimad Bhagavatam first initially when they shows like when Arjuna is away from Sri Krishna, he won't get defeated by the cowherd boys. But again, the moment he thinks about Krishna, he get delighted and powerful. So if by mistake someone is not connected with Krishna, but these incidents tells somehow or other we get connected, we will be get delighted and we feel the presence of Krishna, because these shlokas, the current shlokas, this explaining the Krishna's instruction and his remembrance to Arjuna is as equal to as his presence, even though he was defeated, but now he remembered Krishna's word and his teachings, and he feeling delighted and powerful. So I was like that, how Srimad Bhagavatam makes every effort to put different way, but bring back how we can connect with the Lord.
And that, Prabhu, is the Vani versus the Vapu, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. When the Vapu is not there, we hang on to the Vani because it's none different. It's
Right.
none different. The Vani and the Vapu are all in one. Yes, very nice point, Prabhu. It's really, really nice, nice realization, how we are always connected to the instructions. And like you said, that the example of Arjuna. Thank you. Wonderful point. Thank you so much. Yes, there, Krishna, you had your hand up twice. Would like to hear your
Yeah,
feedback.
Mataji, I couldn't resist. And
Please.
Gopal Prabhu mentioned a beautiful point about whatever we have, whatever skills or whatever tendencies we have, we should use them in the Krishna, in the service of Krishna. So just I was thinking about it, how to practically apply it, because thinking of myself, I might become complacent. Oh, whatever I have, let me apply. But how to improve on that, and keep thinking about how to improve in whatever skills. So one thing is, whatever I have, I should apply in the service of Krishna. But another philosophical point is that we should offer our best to Krishna. So how to endeavor for that best continuously in terms of quality of our service?
Prabhu, what is coming to my mind is the first thing we have to first realize is what we have is Krishna, because everything comes from the Lord. So we need to have some aspect, a little bit of, at least a starting point of humility to know that whatever we have, whatever talents we have, whatever is given to us is from the Lord. So it is definitely due respect, lack of a better word, that what the Lord has given us, we have to give it back to him. We cannot say it's mine forever. So I think that's one thing, what's coming to my mind. That's one thing that we have to develop a consciousness that the Lord has given me this talent, and I'm so fortunate. Let me use that talent the Lord has given to me to serve him back. That's one point. And the other point that I always try to remember is that we do our best to the best of our ability without being the controller, because at the end, the result is based on what the Lord wants. So I think that one, to develop that, Prabhu, we need to always be in constant contact with the devotees. Because the tendency is when we think that I can do, see, as soon as we say I, right? It becomes the controlling nature. I was always taught, or at least Antamar Prabhu always teaches his leaders to use the word we. Because whenever we use the word we, it really affects the mind, because we know that it's not me alone. It's a collective effort. We. So that is one thing that has helped me. And also to work with devotees to understand that we're going to make this happen together. And if whatever happens at the end, the Lord is in control. But as they say, man proposes, God disposes. So we do our part, but we have to do our part. It's not like we just sit and dream and say, okay, it's going to happen, and okay, and then we be lazy about it. No, we give our heart, but the end results, we leave it to the Lord. But we should do it the proper way. I hope that helped. And please, anyone else can add some points to it. Probably Prakshit, if he's there. You're on, I can hear you.
Yeah, I am, but I'm just listening up. Srila Prabhupada, can I add just one more, that he was saying that it's not hard to be a spiritual master if you repeat what Krishna has said to do. The Krishna consciousness teachings, everybody you meet, then you tell them, but you don't dilute it. You just say it just like, it says in there. In that way, you'll be the spiritual master, because Krishna himself was spiritual master to Arjuna, and what he said is what we're repeating. So, if we say the same thing, then basically what Krishna has said as spiritual master is what you also have said. That way you become an instructing spiritual master also. Not an initiating, but an instructing spiritual master. That was the only thing that I was going to add to Hariksha.
I hope that helped there, Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, absolutely. Thank you, Prabhu and Mataji. And I was thinking another aspect of this is we might think we have this skill or this talent, but really is it useful or helpful in the service of Krishna? Just like I was thinking the example of Hanumanji, right? Somebody had to tell him, what his skills and talents are that can be used. So just like Rishi Prabhu mentioned about the guidance from the spiritual master, that is another aspect of it. I was thinking the work example. Sometimes I might create my own mini projects, and even without sharing with anybody else, might start working on it, and then my boss will tell me, okay, probably this is not even required. So those subtle points are there when we think about these things. So thank you.
As you were speaking, Prabhu, I was thinking about Balabhadra Prabhu, because he has mentioned this in his classes, I think, a few times. And he says that whenever he thinks of something that he wants to do, and he's not quite sure if it will be the right thing, it will manifest, it's the right time or whatever, he will always consult with his God brothers and God sisters. He would always consult with somebody. If it's something that is needed and that will involve 2-3 people, yes, then they work together. But he says that whenever he has a thought or an idea or a project, not knowing whether it's, as they say, right time, place, circumstance, he says that he will call up few devotees, few of his God brothers and God sisters, and discuss with them and say, hey, I have this and that. What do you think is the right time? Well, you think it's fruitful? Will it manifest? So he kind of bounces back and forth with other devotees. And then in that discussion, he says that he gets support, that even they might want to be part of it, or they might lead them to someone else that'll be part of it. So it's always a collective effort, that us. And also, I think there's one point, Prabhu, you mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, and let me know if I'm wrong, is you said that sometimes one might not even know, and you mentioned the word Hanuman. I mean, you mentioned Hanuman not knowing that he has this until he was told by Jambavan. Man, there are many devotees, Prabhu. Actually, not devotees, people in general. Forget the devotees population. There are many people that don't know what they have. And I think it's because of the conditioning. Not I think, it is because of the conditioning. So we have to help those devotees to slowly, get out of the conditioning and really appreciate themselves for who they are as a servant of the Lord, spirit souls of the Lord. And they have it. And, it's like, well, when you have like a gift that is like a piece of metal or something that's covered with dust, right? And crud and mud. So you don't see the value of it until you polish off the mud and the crud and the whatever. And then you see this shining piece. So I think that's the general challenge in today's times, that people don't know what they have because they have conditioned to being covered up. So as devotees, when we see that, we can try to help remove the dirt and the mud that's covering it and make them see, oh, you have this talent. And then they can, and then slowly encourage them and enthuse them and teach them and guide them how to use that in Krishna's service. I hope that helped, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, absolutely. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Any other questions? Very, very nice questions. Amazing discussions. I really like the discussions a lot. If any other questions before we end the class, anything that's coming into devotees' minds, or sharing a thought, a realization. If there isn't, we thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you online tomorrow morning with His Grace Vishnugada Prabhu. So please do join us tomorrow for the Bhagavatam class. Until then, Vanchakraptabhyascha Kripasindhabheva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Have a wonderful day, devotees. Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.